with integrated earphones. The 8 GB of built-in storage is more than enough to store up to 2,000 songs, likely more than the average Joe would need. To add songs, it works like any other MP3 player. You simply plug this up into your PC or Mac and drag and drop a wide variety of supported audio formats. Aside from an MP3 player, it features a built-in FM radio as well, and more on that in a second. So USB cable for charging and a bunch of interchangeable earbuds separated by above water activities and your underwater activities. It's important that you use the correct earbud tips for your water sports. These are the ones with the extended cones for that airtight fit within your ear canal. And you want to make sure that the silicone is maneuvered all the way onto the earpiece on channel. So now to charge this thing, you have to remove the power unit in the center by gently squeezing the band, and it'll just pop right out. Don't squeeze too hard. Now, as you can see, this unit is something you don't see often, but it's basically just a thumb drive that you slide into the USB cable provided. Or you can just plug it directly into your PC or any other power source for that matter. At only 32 grams, it's super lightweight and convenient for travel. It could feel a bit uncomfortable, but it conforms to your head in a matter of minutes and you forget it's there. The band itself has some pretty solid tension. It's a purposeful design that furthermore maintains the waterproof seal around the power unit when you're wearing it behind your head. Now to fire this thing on, you press and hold the play pause button and your loaded music will begin to play automatically in a matter of seconds. And of course your skip track, volume, and pause controls are all present, as well as a reset button. So now, as I mentioned earlier, the built-in FM radio. So to access the radio, once it's powered on, by pressing and holding the volume up button, it'll immediately pick up your nearby radio stations. Now, I don't know if it could be a defect or I just have bad luck, but most of the areas I was in, the FM radio was nothing but static. There was barely a feed, so with the IPX8 waterproof rating, you can submerge it underwater as deep as 3 meters, or I've had no problem keeping them in my ears. They have yet to fall out, and the water pressure actually helps with that. I also didn't notice any change in sound when submerged underwater, which is a plus. Don't worry if a little water gets in the earphone, as it's also slightly waterproof as well. The battery's good, and it holds up fairly well. I got an average of around 6 to 7 hours of use, and sometimes less. And that's because if you're using the wireless FM radio, it'll drain your battery like there's no tomorrow, giving you only around... So approaching this from the perspective of your average Joe, I can say with confidence, the average person would enjoy these. My listening experience turned out a bit better than expected. The larger buds for above water activities do in fact provide some enjoyable bass. Rather impressive actually. Hip hop sounded great, but unfortunately I can't say the same about the smaller bud sizes where the bass was practically non-existent, simply because larger tips isolate sound a lot better. Now as for the waterproof buds, they don't sound as good as the big ones I just mentioned, but it's still adequate. The bass is there, but it's nothing too crazy, just enough to enjoy. It could use a little more treble though, but it's no reason to toss it to the side.